Good evening, everyone. Welcome back. We are here once again to meet your podcasting needs. I am Brandon, aka Nuge, and joining me is
The law. I am the law.
Okay. Gotta say, I didn't see that coming. I should have done if I'd thought about it.
I'm the law.
Okay. Thanks, Law.
I've literally got nothing else. That's my entire contribution to this.
Podcast over. It might have worked better had I had said that welcome to our podcast review of the audio drama Judge Dredd America. Then I would have introduced myself. Then you could have dropped the law, and that would have kind of.
You said I was premature again.
A little bit.
It happens. But I'm still the law.
Okay. All right. It's good to know that I'm joined by the law to review Judge Dredd America. So this is one of the titles. So basically, they've launched.
So it's a series basically of Penguin Audiobooks are doing some literal adaptations of 2000 AD stuff, aren't they?
Yeah. So they've done. So there's two Judge Dredds, one of which we are going to be reviewing today. There's a Slain audio drama, which is I'm really excited to give that one a listen because Slain's being voiced by Colin Morgan, I believe, from Merlin Days. And there's the Ballad of Halo Jones.
And there's Brink as well.
Yeah, so basically it's five audio adaptations being done by Penguin Books. And obviously what we're going to be talking about today is Judge Dredd America. America, F yeah, coming again to say the motherfucking day, just like that, I've got myself a tag. So yeah, so this is based on the graphic novel, which actually I believe came out in 1990.
Just before we start, I kind of need to preface this with I'm pretty much not a Judge Dredd virgin, but a 2000 AD noob. You know, I haven't read much, I haven't seen much other than like the Judge Dredd films, which I'm not going to refer to after this point. Second one was cool. So I'm kind of coming in from that kind of angle. You know, I'm not a 2000 AD fan. I've not read much 2000 AD, if any. So yeah, that's where I'm coming from with this.
And where I'm coming from is I certainly as a kid, 2000 AD was like my comic. You know, I used to get, when I first started reading comics, I was getting sort of Tintin, Asterix, and then I started to get my brother's Marvel hand-me-down comics. I think 2000 AD, and kind of at the same time Eagle was around, they did like a relaunch of Eagle. But 2000 AD was kind of like my kind of comic. That was a comic I would go to the newsagents to buy every week and stuff like that. So I've got a lot of love for 2000 AD. I haven't read much recently, 2000 AD. I did sort of pick up every so often. I sort of dip in and out of it, but it's been a while since I've kind of dipped into it. And I haven't read Judge Dredd America, so I was going into this blind as well. But I'm pretty sure there was back in the day a Judge Dredd audio drama.
So Big Finish did a few Judge Dredd audio dramas back in like the early 2000s.
Yeah, so BBC used to do a Judge Dredd audio drama, which I remember listening to way back in the day. And it was Judge Dredd's original adventures, and one was called Series 1, The Day the Law Died. Yeah, so I remember quite liking those. So this isn't necessarily completely new to me in terms of Judge Dredd in audio. But anyway, let's get into it. So the blurb for this is, in Mega City 1, the judges of the law act as judge, jury, and executioner. But how do the citizens really feel about a system where they are powerless? America Jara and Bennett Beanie grow up as best friends, living a trouble-free life in a dangerous city. By the odd negative encounter with a judge, time draws them apart, and when they are brought back together, Beanie is a successful singer and America's become involved with a terrorist organization known as Total War, which has the Justice Department in its sights. This dark and complex tale is considered to be one of the best stories to ever come out of the Judge Dredd universe. So the person playing Dredd in this is Joseph Fiennes, but there's also Joseph Patterson. I think he's the narrator in this.
Patterson Joseph.
Patterson Joseph. Oh, I keep saying Joseph Patterson. I don't know why. Patterson Joseph.
It makes sense because
yeah. And Matthew Jacob Morgan. and obviously assorted other audio drama actors. So, where do we want to start? Do you want to talk overall thoughts?
Yeah, let's do some overall thoughts. So, as I say, I mean, I've come into this pretty much empty-headed as regards what it was, what it would be, what it could be, to be fair. And first up, I want to make clear I really enjoyed the story itself, was really powerful, and I've got a quote that I want to come back to in a bit because I think it defined the whole piece.
Okay.
But one of the things I've noticed, because I've not read any Judge Dredd and stuff, I've not read any 2000 AD particularly, but what I did do, because I knew we were recording this, so I thought I would try and come over as somewhere near semi-half professional, so quarter professional, was I did a bit of research. And what I thought was quite interesting and I think worked really well in the audio drama was it wasn't just America that they told. They had a surrounding narrative to it, with this whole America story being like the middle component, which honestly worked. It was a good it was a good story anyway, and it was thought provoking anyway, especially in the times we are now, and as it was back in 1990 as a response to Thatcherite Britain and stuff, but now even more so. But with the enclosing narrative that they put around it, which I'm pretty sure, people may correct me on this, but is based on what was going on in the Judge Dredd comics anyway at that time, it kind of like really worked for me as a piece, and the fact that you had this almost introduction segment before you met these main protagonists really worked for me, and then you had that almost like a coda at the end. Something. I really enjoyed that. How about you?
So for me, it's the same thing. I really enjoyed the story because I had no idea what to expect going into this, and it was really interesting reading Judge Dredd listening to Judge Dredd as an adult compared to listening to Judge Dredd when I was a kid, because I always saw him as a very heroic character as a kid.
Interesting. Okay.
And I didn't necessarily see the nuances of exactly what a judge is. And looking at him now, it's a very different relationship I've got with him. It's a very murky relationship, which I think was cool. I think it was really cool. I liked it. And I liked the fact that it almost felt, even though you had there was a thread running through the story, it almost felt a little bit like an anthology.
Yeah. There was very much sort of 3 or maybe even 4 distinct stories to it.
Now I believe that there were a couple of sequels to Judge Dredd America, and that may be what the other stories are.
I know 2000 AD have always been not careful with, but there's always almost been like a constant narrative going through. So for me, it felt like the stuff that was happening before they actually kicked in with America and the stuff that was happening after, it felt like that was the same era of 2000 AD to me. I don't know whether that's true or not, but it certainly felt, it was very much that same zeitgeist.
Yeah.
And it worked. I mean, to be fair, I don't even know if they made that other stuff up, but it worked for it either way.
And also as well, we'll move towards getting into like the voice work and stuff. What I found really interesting was the casting decision
of Joseph Fiennes, particularly.
Yeah. I mean, the others not so much, because I didn't really. I mean, a couple of the judges I did remember, but I didn't have enough. There wasn't enough in my mind to sort of go, well, that doesn't sound how I would expect Judge blah 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 to be. But Judge Dredd is kind of like, we've got 2 people have played him, and obviously, and I've listed sort of like assorted audio dramas, and I've read that character quite a bit, so I've got my own voice of how I kind of expect it to sound as well, and all of those competing. And I have to say, when Joseph Fiennes first started talking, in my mind, I was like, that's nothing like how I would expect Judge Dredd. But what I really liked was, in many ways, it felt more, he sounded less like a caricature.
Yeah.
He felt more realistic than certainly the Stallone Dredd. I think Carl Urban nailed it with his Dredd.
He barely spoke.
yeah, but that's what I mean. But that's kind of he's
Yeah.
In a movie setting, you've got the luxury of being able to do that. Dread's a man of few words, but you can do that in a movie. You can't do that on an audio drama.
No.
But yeah, he felt more realistic, and I dare say he felt a lot more sinister.
Really? Okay. Because I find that I find that really interesting, just purely because in my head I always have, as I say, I've not read anything, so in my head I've literally got the image of Dredd with a big square jaw.
Yeah.
I've got the Stallone film, I've got the Carl Urban film in my head, and I found it really difficult to kind of rationalize the Joseph Fiennes voice with Dredd, mainly because all I've got is the visuals. And the fact that they, in the visuals of, the cover of this audio play is literally, it's that classic Judge Dredd, massively square jaw, pure